Okay, welcome to a new flow. Yesterday Donald Trump won this night. I was up watching the whole thing happen, and I did a stream where I do painting, do a lot of brushwork and stuff on this painting. It is an impressionist painting of Melanie's Melanie's Garden is called. It's commissioned work that I'm working on, and I made a stream where I listened to as the results of the election in America is coming in, and the moment when Trump won the election and his speech. Now, I know that being, this is the photo I'm working from, by the way. It's from her garden. She sent it to me. I know that a lot of people who do art hate Donald Trump, and there's a lot of misinformation about him, both in media and all over the place. I chose to study the guy, and I learned to like him, and I'm looking forward to him doing a good job for America, and therefore also for us in Europe. So that is my opinion. If you don't like him and you hate me for it, so be it. I don't care. It is very important to have your own opinions, and that is what I do. I don't take consensus for being automatic truth, and what the left-wing media tell me I have learned to take with a grain of salt, as we say in Norway. So I hope you enjoy the stream. If you're a Trump supporter, you can give it a thumbs up, and if you like my paintings, you can also do that. And if you want to send some hate messages and some bad comments, you are happy to, and they will not be deleted at all. And with this, I hope to see you in my next video. So, yay! Have a
I don't interpret what Juan is saying.
So here we are, election night in the United States, and Trump has basically won the election. The Pennsylvania and stuff isn't called yet, but he is bloody well winning, and I'm gonna do this painting session until Trump holds his victory speech. I said 4 years ago that he would be back, and they were laughing, oh, he would go to jail and he would blah 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 blah. You know, and I just knew Trump is a warrior. Trump has the gene to take all the pain, to take all the heat, and he should be looked at as a hero. Even if you don't like him, you should actually appreciate a person who is able to take so much shit and stand and work and do what's needed.
Can you believe this, man?
Actually, for me as an artist, and that is the thing also with Trump, that his art is to create, it is to do business, it is to make deals, and anyone who actually follow or have read his Art of the Deal book would know that. So
Deal-com, online auctions since 2009.
and he's no racist, he's no xenophobe or Hitler or whatever. They have called him every single thing in the book, and it never seemed to end. And in the end, what is strange is that the Democrats or cackling Kamala, actually believe that starting attacking him as a Hitler would actually have any effect at all. That is just preaching to the choir, okay?
and how far we've gone.
So, yeah, and I follow the polls and stuff. And we also know that there is a suppressed
Get $4,000 cash allowance on the purchase of most 2025 Ram 1500 trucks.
Trump vote.
Don't miss Ram Power Days. Hurry in today.
So
Enjoy your free trial.
So he's winning
Hello?
much bigger
Can you hear me?
Sure can.
than the polls say.
Everybody hear
And
me?
he's been basically doing that all the time. So.
Sure can.
And of course, Kamala isn't even
Sure can.
capable of conceding
From your first appointment, try our
like
new
Hillary
year's
did
Invisible Solution risk-free.
that
Call
time. She didn't
1-800-234-7090 now.
concede.
All right, we
I'm
are
listening
back,
to
and
Fox
that
News.
is the jubilant scene. Everybody seems pretty happy at Trump headquarters, and
Yeah,
what
I
we're
wonder
seeing
why.
is movement from the Mar-a-Lago Trump group.
This painting is
including,
actually
former President Trump, who is in a very good
painting that a
position to be the
woman
next
who
president.
has been
this
one of
evening
my
as well, is
supporters
heading
for
over to the
years.
Trump headquarters, where there are a few thousand people who have gathered for
Melania.
this evening. So we'll keep a close eye on
Melanie.
that. Obviously, when he shows up there,
Melania.
we'll be there
Melanie.
live.
And she's a Trump supporter.
Make America great.
And I told her 4 years ago that he would win again.
As we look now at
And
what we
I was right.
have, Pennsylvania. Is this a call, ladies and gentlemen?
Yay.
We are now projecting that Donald J. Trump will win the state of Pennsylvania.
Which means
Former
he's
President
won.
Donald J. Trump will win the state of Pennsylvania, and thereby he is on his way to becoming the 47th President of the United States. With this, the path
Unbelievable.
for Vice President Harris has narrowed, and there's really no path going forward. It's vanished. This is historic. Everything was about Pennsylvania. Everything from the beginning was about Pennsylvania. Now, former President Trump
Yay.
will win the state of Pennsylvania, and we can make that call the 19 electoral votes. That puts him at 267, not
Yeah.
officially over the 270, but the path that it takes to get to 270, he is well on his way to becoming the 47th President of the United States.
It's
In
unbelievable.
what is going
He's
to be
78 years old and
the biggest
had
political
4
phoenix from the ashes story that we have ever
rallies
seen.
after one another each day
I mean, I'm going to say it's
for the last days.
Cleveland in
And it's
1892.
incredible.
I don't think that Grover Cleveland was not the
That
subject
stamina
of
is
Russian
just
investigation
so
to
amazing that you
impeach
should look
impeachments,
up
to
to. Even if you hate
assassination
him,
attempts.
you should have him as an
91
example
indictments,
of how we should
convictions,
work.
and there is almost nothing that hasn't been thrown at this former president, and his tenacity in wanting to go back and win again, which he announced immediately after he lost in 2020. This is a huge historic moment in the United States of America, as the former President Trump is closing in with just a few electoral votes away now from clinching 270, as Pennsylvania is called for Donald Trump.
We're looking live, 1:21 a.m. in the morning at Trump headquarters. The cheers coming up. We're told the former president is there, as well as J.D. Vance, Senator J.D. Vance. They are getting ready to hear from former President Donald Trump. Again, at 267, not there yet, but looking at where that vote is in Wisconsin, where the vote is in Michigan, where the vote is in Nevada and in Arizona. There is no path, Rick Hume, for Vice President Harris, and just 30,000 feet, what this means.
Well, I'm old enough to remember when Richard Nixon was declared dead in 1962. Remember the famous speech he said, "We don't have Nixon to kick around anymore." No one could have imagined after that failed race for governor, he could have come back in 1968 and been elected president. That was a hell of a comeback. This, to my eye, was a man who was faced with many more slings and arrows than Nixon had been at that time, hated though he was by the Democrats. This surmounts that. This is an extraordinary comeback.
Yeah.
He campaigned so energetically, ruthlessly, fiercely, and with more joy than Kamala Harris. And it was so clear that Joe Biden was not going to be able to go the distance. If Joe Biden were selling the ticket tonight, who knows what tonight might have even looked like, that he has been able to accomplish this, it is
As I say, the only thing that's worrying in
and also
my,
I think about
one of
Susan
my
Wiles,
videos I made
who's
on
his
my other
campaign
channel, which you
manager,
can actually link to,
very quiet,
is
does not like
I'm
the
afraid of
limelight.
what
Chris
Trump
Lofspeed
will do
works
with
on it. All of those
Ukraine.
people who worked so hard and stuck by Trump.
It's so
no matter what
important
was
that
said
we
about him,
continue
they were
the
called every name in the book,
support to
including Hitler
Ukraine
and
and the
Nazis,
Ukraine war,
and they came through.
and
The other thing that's on my
defeat
mind is,
Putin
you know,
and
last night
fascism.
at her closing,
So I do hope that Trump
rally,
isn't dumb enough
Oprah
to
Winfrey
stop the
said
support
that
to
if Donald
Ukraine.
Trump is elected again, basically,
If he
you
does,
can
he
just write
loses
America off. Like America's just going
my
to fall
support.
apart.
Now that
That's
is so
obviously
important
not true.
because
They'll all be surprised tomorrow.
it's going to be
There's a
one
big
term
like,
anyway, and
JFK
I'm Norwegian,
and
so I
Hollywood
can't really
celebrities,
vote.
like, leaving the
So,
country as they
yeah.
said they were going to. This is the greatest country, and there will be so many opportunities for lots of deal making. I think President Trump will be in the mood.
So what
but
I'm
he
doing
also
now
has
is
a
just
huge
brushwork,
to-do list. Biden and Harris have
and it's
left
so lovely.
a mess. His
It's-
closing argument was,
yeah.
she broke it, I will fix it. And she talked about having a to-do list. He's got a big to-do list, but he thrives on it. And you saw that through the whole campaign.
He is, I think, enthusiastic about doing the job of being President Harold, and it is just an absolutely remarkable. I think if you wrote this as a movie script, people would say this could never happen in the United States of America.
He's a single, I've said this before, he's a single greatest political athlete I've ever seen. And tonight he proved why. There were moments in the campaign where I thought he would say, said some things and did some things that I didn't quite understand, that I thought maybe detracted from that. But tonight obviously proves that too. He also ran a traditional campaign. He connected with voters on issues. He talked about the things that mattered most to voters. And Democrats said he didn't talk about it in the most full-throated way, he didn't talk about it in the most wholesome way, didn't talk about it in the most comprehensive way, but he connected with voters. I would urge my party tonight, if indeed I think he's almost at 270, we'll declare here shortly once Alaska comes in. Don't write off the American people. Let us not be critical of people for voting for President Trump. He did something we didn't do in this campaign. We got to reevaluate, reassess. Mr. Wonderful said a little earlier that may give us an opportunity as a party to revamp, and perhaps we should think about that. But don't write off the people, the American people, for the decision they made this evening.
Charlie Hurt, he will be the 47th president of the United States after everything that we saw in this election.
The Trump
It's hard
everything
to
against it. I mean, all the
understand
impeachments,
how
all the
some in the
all
mainstream
the
media are going to hate
attack
this
and
because it was so
all the
over the top one way that they thought it was
trials and stuff that is basically
from a lot of the
based
media
on just
that he was
bullshit
gonna have the
that
landslide.
nobody
It
else
looks
would
like
be
he's
charged
going to have the
with.
landslide tonight.
It's unbelievable.
It's
If you actually followed everything, like from the Russia hoax, Hillary Clinton bought and paid for the dossier that started all the impeachment shit and all the stuff that tarnished his first
this is the end of the old Republican Party.
his first term.
Donald Trump took on
Everything was lies, lies.
In 2015 was take on the old
And the
Republican
laptop,
Party. He has completely reshaped the Republican Party. The
son of
Republican
Biden,
Party is no
which
longer
they lied about was Russian disinformation, and he knew it was a lie. That is why he lost the last election.
A working class, a far more
It's unbelievable.
practical party, a far more, I think probably a far more durable party.
Now, I know we're not winning any popularity contest
to win
saying
with
this,
that. And you can't.
and I don't give a shit because
in 4 years from now, he's
telling
gonna
the
have
truth
battle
is
that
more
he can
important
have to the
than
next
winning
Republican. So I don't know
cred
how
and money and
Republicans
stuff.
ever go back to the old party that they were, but it is truly extraordinary.
One of the most
and it
important
is
things
all
about
by the force
him winning
of one guy,
is the
one man who
taking
had the
down
fortitude,
of
the strength, the
identity
vision,
politics,
the refusal
the left-wing
to accept
censorship
anything,
mania,
all of the
and
experts
of
counted
course
him out,
Elon
and he
Musk
just kept on fighting.
is one of the fighters
for him to come back from a single defeat
for free speech,
to be elected again.
and Joe Rogan
But he
stepped
He
in.
came back from a series of.
I also like Tulsi
his party
Gabbard,
lost in
thus I don't
midterm,
like her
his first-
anti-war
his term.
stance.
They lost in 2018,
I
they
agree
lost
about
the
not
presidential
starting
election in 2020, and they had a
wars,
major
but I
disappointment in
do not
2022,
agree about
which,
stopping the
one might have thought
Ukraine
after all
war
that,
until
the party wouldn't turn to him again, and yet
Putin is defeated.
Plus all the things that Martha enumerated, the indictments, all the other troubles.
See what
they had.
happens.
For him to come back from that is really quite
And
striking.
think about how toxic he was after, say,
Going to
January
be,
6th.
yeah.
And then you're looking at races now in states where Donald Trump very well may drag Republicans, and he's overperforming in a lot of places fellow Republicans.
You know, it really does. I think there are parallels to 1980, Mark Penn. When you look at Jimmy Carter, we had hostages in Iran, we have hostages in Gaza right now, very high inflation and a malaise in many ways in the country that I think these people who have been called a lot of names have had enough of. What is your impression of what this
Some
means
nice
tonight?
just work.
Well, I think this means a lot to a lot of people. I think the working class are looking for a renewal of American jobs. I think people are looking for a border that is sane and an immigration system that works. I think a lot of people over in the Middle East are looking for Iran to pull back in the face of a president whom they fear. And, you know, look, I think it's going to be incumbent on the Democratic Party to understand that the people have spoken and to dissemble and dismantle this lawfare system that they have built up here, which is going to raise a whole series of questions that are going to have to be answered now. But they cannot say that they are better than Donald Trump and recreate a system that does not recognize that he won and the people have spoken and he is going to be the 47th president.
We haven't talked about foreign policy a lot, but imagine the Saudis, making a normalization deal with Israel in the face of a new president here. Imagine
going there tomorrow night.
Imagine a Ukraine deal that Donald Trump talks about. Kevin O'Leary, what is the market going to do?
I love this. What's happened here is the system self-corrected. When you try and break the American model, it fixes itself. And I think people should give credit within the Democratic Party. Donald Trump saved them tonight too, because they're going to have to take a spatula to these policies and bring it back to the center over the next 4 years, and in a way reset. And we talked about this earlier, but he saved entrepreneurship. He saved the entire model of the S&P 500, because taxing 20% higher was a really bad idea, and it self-corrected. Capital, and this is why I'm getting on a plane tomorrow night. I intentionally didn't leave till tomorrow night so I could go to Geneva, go to Abu Dhabi, go to Riyadh, and say it's 21% corporate taxes, 100% not going to change. That is very important for people like me that bring capital back to this country. It fixed itself. It fixed itself. And I think that's why America works. It has worked for 200 years. When it gets too crazy,
of course, one of the guys
and whether you love Trump or you hate him, every Democrat owes
on Fox News now.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
By the way, as the markets, the poly market, and all these
Geraldo, I think his name is.
Exponentially.
Yes, I'm long.
Black guy started to say that it was because
Speaking of Bitcoin, I'm also
men didn't want to have a woman president. And that is just bullshit. That has nothing to do with a woman or a black. Of course, he started also with a racist card, blackness and stuff like that. So it's like, it never stops with these people. She was a bad choice. She was a horrible person. She is a horrible person. Petty, stupid.
She said the people of that region love somebody who is a big thinker, who wants to create jobs, who is like looking into the future, and they can get behind that. And they love somebody who can really lead.
I was actually thinking about painting that painting from the day Trump was shot.
Going to be criticized. I think this is one of the problems that Kamala Harris has always had.
Maybe
She doesn't
stream
want to take a
with
position
that
on anything. We haven't even
tonight.
talked about how in California,
But you know,
the
I
law
didn't,
to
and now I
basically make
regret it.
shoplifting illegal again.
But I'm gonna sure paint that
Illegally.
painting.
And
So
Gascon, our
that
friend
picture,
down the DA in Los Angeles,
because
lost by 22 votes.
I'm gonna
So
paint
this
it
is
for
in
my
California, so
human
it's
condition
everywhere.
exhibition.
And 2 days before 22 points, thank you.
Trump
She
is
wouldn't
basically
even take a position
on that 75%
one
of
of the
the people in California wanted
strangest
it gone.
You can't take a
phenomenon
position
when
to
it
be
comes
for,
to
with them.
Not only that, you were part
human
of
beings on
47
this
that
planet.
changed the law the other way.
I haven't
Right.
seen
When
it.
you were in office.
So not
It's
wanting to
unbelievable.
take a position and not being willing to be criticized is a problem if you want to be a leader at that level.
She had that affliction in 2020. Why didn't your own party say, you're not the right candidate? I mean, run a process.
Well,
get
they did. They ran her out of town right before any votes were cast in 2019.
But the
and
same
then she's flunked
affliction
out of there.
hit her here. The same problem she had in
Yes.
2020 hit her in
She's the same
2024.
person.
I mean, it's not all her fault. They put her in a race that she, well, we now know couldn't win.
Yeah.
So Carol, in fairness to Democrats, there's no doubt, I agree with you on unrealized capital gains. We shouldn't be taxing that. But we produce more wealth, more innovation, more oil, more cures, more therapeutics over the last 3 years. So I hear you. Democrats are not bad for the economy. Some things she proposed that I'm with you on. But we're a great country, and we're going to continue to be great. And I trust and hope and believe that
Your
President Trump.
party will be great again.
I want the
And you can thank Donald Trump for that.
But he inherited an economy also that was in pretty good shape. I don't want to quarrel about that. All I want going forward, I agree with you. I want the country to be great, and I hope that both of the parties can work together to try and do that. And I salute President Trump tonight. What a great win, and I agree with you in this regard. My party's got to reimagine and reinvent itself going forward.
Listen, I said, I wrote about this, the unity and
You did.
past presidents and past losers and winners and what they said. This is a big speech, Britt, for former President
Yeah.
Trump. As he gets ready to deliver this in front of a crowd, he's obviously taken the slings and arrows and everything that's been said, the fascism, all of the things we talked about tonight. But this moment is actually a moment to reach out.
It's an opportunity if he chooses to do that, but it's also 1:30 in the morning. So you can kind of wonder how many people are allowed to hear.
Oh, they're there.
I
He's definitely
a lot of people are still up.
And 1:30, it's like
I bet there's
7 in the morning in
Well, I
Norway.
think the
So.
woman in Iowa at the beginning of this process, Brad, when we were in a town hall with him, bless you, and he, we asked him about all of this revenge stuff, and that he was going to want retribution, and this is what everyone heard. And there were times when he had
So much
language
happening
that
in
was,
here,
that matched that, but he said that he
and I
wanted
will
success
do it, kind
to
of
be
close
his
it
revenge,
in
and
more
that
and more
he
with
wanted
smaller
a
and smaller
successful
brushwork.
America, and I would
Now
imagine
it's kind
that
of
we're going to hear
neons and
something along those
temperature
lines tonight,
I'm
but we'll see.
doing.
Brett, you wrote in your piece, you quoted one of those great old Republican presidents, H.W. Bush, who said that a campaign is a disagreement and an election is a decision. And decisions clear the way for harmony and peace. Maybe it's
listen, there are a lot of Thanksgiving tables that people are still going to have hard feelings after this
The good
election.
thing is that
any other
I
election.
have one of them.
this
And if you
extreme identity politics, all the bullshit with women and men in women's sports, all this trans shit, all this stupidity of the left, all these pronouns and all that
We had
bullshit.
every reason to believe that he would be this sort of moderate deal-making
This
guy that he'd been when he was in the Senate.
works against it. But
Yes,
people
he's
are
always
sick of
followed sort
it.
of
People are
the
sick
of his
of
party.
being told what to
He
think.
worked across the aisle
People
with
are
many
sick
senators
of
and Republican friends and
being
so on.
told that they are
Obviously
racist
kind of
because they are
then
maybe
something happened.
like me supporting
Trump went to
Israel.
Georgia and made a mess
I
of
was
that.
actually
Those two
called,
Senate races down there,
um,
and the Democrats ended up with control of the
what was
Senate.
it,
At which point old Biden
Nazi
started
Jew
doing,
lover
these historical sugar
by
plums
someone
dancing
because I was supporting
and went after a
Israel.
very aggressive agenda.
Okay, and I'm a humanist. I'm not even. I don't even recognize
Well, in my view, that was a
nationalism or anything like that as a good thing.
The Republicans had maintained control of the Senate. First thing that wouldn't
I know
happen was all that wild
what's
spending
right and
that led
wrong.
to the inflation.
And I
Led to a
study
big part of the
facts.
inflation. And
So-
Biden and the country would have been better off because of it. There's always a danger in overreading your mandate. One wonders if Trump will be sober-minded about his.
I think that happened to Biden. Early on, remember he said that he's going to be returned to norms, and then the historians came in and said, no, you could be bigger than FDR. So he said, it's fine, okay, I'll spend all the money, then they caused inflation, and now they end up with this result.
Well, he has said that this looks like new President Trump, if he gets to 270, which we expect he will fairly shortly, yes, exactly, has a moment to bring about the unity that people expected after the last election. Of course, we would be kidding ourselves to think that there won't be a tremendous
Also,
response to this.
I mean, it's
tremendous
like,
backlash
as I
in a lot
said
of
before,
corners of the
I mean,
country.
So
look
listen,
at
he's
the
going to get there because
workload
Alaska's
that
going to be
this guy has
Republican,
put
but
into
we're not
this.
done. as far as calling states,
He has been
there could
losing
be even
business.
more states that go
He was
Trump's way.
banned
This
from
could
doing
be a
business in
massive
New York,
landslide, just
his
by
home
what
state,
we're looking at
which
in the
was his
polls.
home state.
Fox News decision desk counting out
And
projected
I mean,
President
been
will
losing,
win
but
Minnesota.
the driving
Running mate
force,
Tim Walz serves as the
the
state's governor there.
workload
That
he's
takes
willing to
it
take
up to
because
267
he loves
to
work.
226. But
It's
again,
like doing
Donald J.
art, it's
Trump
like doing
will be
painting.
the 47th
There's no limit
president
to
of the
how
United
much I can
States. More
paint
Democracy
if I
24
just don't
special
get
coverage
started.
Next.
And because people with, and Trump probably has severe ADHD. I can see that in his digressions and in the way he speaks and
If you have
stuff. So,
generalized myasthenia gravis,
but if you
picture
take
what
that
life could look like
ADHD
with
and that
Vyvgart
hypomania,
Hytrulo,
which
a
he
subcutaneous
has,
injection that
you
takes
will
about
actually
30 to
be
90
able to
seconds.
do great things. And the same with Elon Musk. He just
Vyvgart
loves
Hytrulo
to
can improve
create,
daily abilities and reduce
and that is
muscle weakness
his
with a
basic
treatment plan
driving
that's
force in life.
personalized to you. Do not use Vyvgart Hytrulo if you have a
Let me
serious
see, that was
allergy to
23
any of its
minutes.
It can cause serious allergic reactions like trouble breathing and decrease in blood pressure, leading to fainting and allergic reactions such as rashes, swelling under the skin, shortness of breath, and hives. The
These.
most common side effects are respiratory and urinary tract infections,
Would you actually
headache,
use
and
medicines
injection
with all
site
that
reactions.
side effects?
It may increase the risk of infusion-related reactions and infection. Tell your doctor if you have a history of infections or symptoms of an infection. Talk to your neurologist about Vyvgart Hytrulo for GMG and picture your life in motion.
Exercise, eat well, stop smoking, don't drink too much, and you solve most
The crime
of the
of title
illness
theft.
you can
What
get.
is that?
What that means is that a criminal, they're able to steal the title to your home, typically by transferring it to another person
That's
and then
crazy.
selling or borrowing money against the house. So it could be 6 months later, they start getting foreclosed on. The thing about home title lock is that never has to happen.
Why is that?
They notify you when there's any change to your title, and you're able to hopefully catch the thief in the middle of this whole process. And even if the title has been transferred out of your name, Home Title Lock has a restoration team that will come in, fix your title, and place the property back into your name. Title fraud is real, it's scary, but now there's a way to protect yourself.
Give us a call or go to HometitleLock.com and start your triple lock title protection today.
Sunday on Fox.
And
Catch
much
a special
smaller.
virtual home game show live from Naval Base San Diego.
It's not that big.
It's Niners and Bucks. It all kicks off at 11 a.m. Eastern on Fox. Check for the game in your area.
Hey, grab more delectables. You know, that lickable cat treat.
Delickable delectables.
Yes, just
Probably get a.
Must be delicious.
Delectables, lickable treat. Deliciously delectable delectables.
It is a very big night, and they're about to explode at Trump headquarters in West Palm Beach. You see thousands of people waiting, and we are about to hear from the next president of the United States. He will be 45 and 47, and we're waiting for him to join the room, and we'll take you there, obviously, as soon as that gets underway. In the meantime, Grady Trimble is in Michigan. Let's get a quick update just outside of Detroit. Hi, Grady.
Hey, Martha, yeah, people were getting a little bit tired here, but then the call for Pennsylvania was like a jolt of electricity through this room at the Michigan GOP watch party, and the crowd started chanting USA. They started chanting Trump, 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 as it now appears he will be the 47th president of the United States. Now, in addition to Trump and the call for him in Pennsylvania, they're also excited about the possibility that Michigan could be the state that tips him over that magic 270 number. We're also following a very close Senate race here in Michigan, and they're feeling very confident about that as well. Republican candidate Mike Rogers looks like he could cruise to victory with the help of former President
I also
Trump.
think that he, this time, he was able to break through the lies. And
and told them to go home and
yeah,
go to sleep. Where
people
here
start
they
to wake up
extended,
to
this ballroom venue
all the
through night
bullshit.
if they had to, and now it looks like the crowd is fired up as they await former President Trump taking the stage.
Okay, Grady, thank you. It is really important to point out how big the coattails could be tonight. Think about Bernie Moreno in Ohio, who's thought dead in the water against Sherrod Brown. He wins. We have right now at this hour, as Grady mentioned, Mike Rogers in Michigan is up. Looks like he is getting closer. We haven't made a call there yet. Havind in Wisconsin, leading right now. Sam Brown in Nevada is closing in on Jackie Rosen. We're talking about historic numbers here. If all of these dominoes fall, you're talking about a Senate that could be 54-46, 55-45. That wasn't in the cards. That wasn't on anybody's bingo card when you came into election night.
But these candidates have all fought really strong races, and they have all closed in a very strong way. And in fact, many of them were sort of pulling into +5, +6 in just over the last 3 weeks. So it's a fascinating part of the story. Hopefully we'll be able to call some more of those soon.
Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy says with these coattails, you could see the House going Republican as well, and that would be a part of this story as well. Let's go back out to Trace Gallagher on the West Coast with his panel. Hey, Trace.
Brett, thank you. Martha, thank you as well. We've got our panel, Steve Hilton, Jody Armour, Kayla McGee-White, and Jono Caldwell. You're talking to your panel, Brett and Martha, and we were talking to ours, and Kayla McGee-White was struck by the whole concept that, again, Trump was undercounted. Kayla.
This is the third consecutive polling miss in a presidential cycle for Donald Trump. And we really need
The
to
shamelessness, I mean, all the lies, you know, that he didn't say it was going to execute Cheney. He didn't say that
This was predictable from the very start.
The Nazis were nice. He didn't. It wasn't him that said that thing about that comedian who said that thing about.
And it's because for a long time, actually for the past decade or so, Democrats in power didn't think they needed to.
You know, he
worse,
gets blamed for everything.
They didn't want to have to stoop down to understand the concerns over immigration,
and then even get
over
shot,
the economy.
You know.
And guess what?
Twice
the
they
American
tried to
people
kill him.
sent a very
Twice.
clear message tonight that you better start paying attention, and you better start paying attention soon.
We heard a lot of words, demographic. I don't know how many times we heard it, Steve Hilton, but Gianni, you talk about black voters, black male voters especially. We heard it again and again tonight, and you think it's worth talking about?
I think this is a historic night. Black men will now, those who voted for Trump will be counted as those who helped save America from further decline. I mean, Kamala Harris has tried her best to create these acts.
1,740 years, that would be $1 billion. It was 16 times that. What has been spent on every race, the presidency, the whole deal. $16 billion. And here we are.
What is that, a check you can write to for every American? What did you
think all you can do with that
money? $50.
But I just want to say, every presidential race has a medium. You know, you go back to television, cable. Yeah. This was, in some ways, a podcast experience of a campaign. And those are free to go on podcasts. And you wonder how much of that money really needed to be spent when there's a lot of ways to reach people. But I think it's really interesting and something we'll be talking about a lot in terms of the reach of these endorsements.
I was struck by the final
and Musk and the rest of
the final ads where
they were excellent.
They talked about making America great again, but then ending with the assassination attempt and that fist in the air, the iconic image, and the fight, fight, fight.
Absolutely.
Warrior president.
And it worked.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, toughest son of a gun we ever saw. And that was the last note we see in that ad. And I think, I think for whatever you think of the guy, you gotta admire that.
Yeah.
I mean, the adversity he's faced, everything we've seen in other presidencies and other political figures who've gone through all kinds of trouble are pale in comparison to what he's been put through.
Yeah.
Maybe it's time for his enemies to stop it.
Not only that, but the energy that he has is truly amazing.
It doesn't
He's
work.
The Energizer Bunny. Let's check in with Aisha Hazy, speaking of the Energizer Bunny, at Trump headquarters in West Palm. Aisha, this has been a big night all night long. I'm sure it's really getting fever pitch now.
A big night, Brett and Martha, a long campaign for the former president, for all of us, the press corps that have been following him around now for more than a year. The crowd went absolutely nuts when Fox News called it here, and people were hugging each other, they were high-fiving each other, that people were on FaceTiming. I think they couldn't believe it that this happened tonight, and they didn't have to wait days and days and days. We are now awaiting the former president to take the podium. He is here in the building, as is his running mate, now Vice President-elect J.D. Vance. They're backstage. We were told they were going to come out as soon as the election was called, and so now we're just waiting. We asked for a 2-minute warning. I don't know if we're going to get one, but hopefully we will see him soon. And so I just want to add a little bit of perspective, just as a Capitol Hill reporter that's been covering the former president for a while. When I came to Congress 3 years ago, and talked privately with many powerful Republicans who did not want to see the former president back in Washington, and then to see the legal battles that he went through, and Republicans having to stand up for him, and then he went through the primary process. As Kellyanne Conway just said, he earned it, state by state by state, and then came back to Washington in the spring and went to the RNC and claimed the nomination. This is the greatest comeback that I've ever witnessed personally myself. And so I look forward to seeing what he says to the country here tonight and to his supporters. Back to you.
I should thank you. The Harris team is now texting to say Vice President Harris will speak tomorrow, and that will be her response to the election results. That's all we have from the Harris team, which is really strange. I mean, from a PR perspective, Dan?
No, I also just think it's a shame, because I remember when John Kerry did this to George W. Bush in 2004, and you work so hard, and I know that they're disappointed, but you should concede and let your opponent have their election night, and let everybody that's there at Trump, at Mar-a-Lago, where are they? They're in Palm Beach.
They're in Palm Beach, at the convention center.
At the convention center, let them have
Probably
their
gonna
moment
blame
without anyone.
racism or
Like I
something.
remember Andy Card had to
That
come
would
in
be
and say,
so
well,
typical.
yes, we know we won, but we have to wait until John Kerry concedes, and then we all had to traipse back in the next morning and wait and get that moment. I don't think it's right. And
That's not to say there's not going to be a phone call. There could be a phone call tonight, but she's not going to speak publicly.
if there's a phone call, they have to make it public. And then nobody needs
She's
to
a
hear from her.
narcissist. This is the
So if I'm
ultimate
her, I would do it
narcissistic.
It
This is the ultimate narcissistic injury.
Everybody was there, and it does feel like you want to just collect the moment and do it the way that
But they were,
do it.
Trump is
they were holding out hope that the blue wall could somehow come together, but it's going to be the red wall.
90 minutes before that,
A little bit of
we're told to go to bed.
a little bit kind of overt, have these overt narcissistic traits,
The Harris campaign person
but he
said,
do have a
"Everybody can go to bed and
conscience
come back
and he
tomorrow."
do love, he knows
She didn't even
love.
address her own supporters. We
He's
want her to call
able
President
to
Trump.
love,
Even
so
some of
he's
the
not
people who
a
assembled there
he's
for
not a
hours for
covert
her. It
narcissist
just seems very ungracious. By the way, it ended up being
made,
a very bad split screen.
you know, covert
You probably couldn't see it
narcissists
here, but
are basically
they're filing out, and
made
he's expanding his
psychopaths.
folks, and they're all
If
excited
you
for
ever
him.
been
Look, I think that
close
Kamala
to a
Harris is a
person
sign of the
or
times,
been in a relationship
but I think
with
that Trump's a
somebody
metaphor
who
for
is
the
a
country.
covert
And he says,
narcissist,
we don't surrender.
they have
Fight,
this,
fight, fight. We get back up. I just think he's.
they just
I think
fill
that's
their
the other thing I just want to say. Maybe
emptiness
as a Catholic,
with
maybe
you,
just as a
or
Trump
with
supporter, maybe it's just as
status,
a
or
human, a flawed human
with
being.
stuff,
We all
or
get second chances in this life.
sex, or
Rarely do we
whatever.
get a second chance as big as this one.
And
And I have got to believe the
have
man
that-
that I know and that Kaylee worked with is
they don't
going
really
to
have
work with
a-
a certain alacrity and energy to
have
get
empathy
things done very
or
quickly.
sympathy
What he
for
can do for
anyone else.
executive order,
It's
what
all
he can do
about
with the Congress,
them.
bringing in the governors.
And when they lose
no
something,
one gets a
they
second chance in this
basically
fit in their
never
lives and just
are able
puts
to
it on
rise
himself
again
like it's a trophy
because
or a gold
it's-
star. He's
they
going
don't
to
know why,
use that as
how,
a platform for
because they
good
don't
and
have
undo some of these bad policies.
creativity
and I think
to
do
do
even
it.
better. You know, these celebrities,
And the honesty
these
to
athletes,
fall in
he's
and
got
build up
job
again.
creators and innovators. He's got Elon Musk.
You
and
have to have
he's got
honesty
people who
to-
make stuff, who people say,
to
wow,
make
this is an
that.
American success story, and he's going to bring them aboard.
So
That is
Vice
why
President Harris
people
has
like
now encountered
Kamala
what is known as the
won't be able to
Van Buren curse. It's the
tackle
failure of the
this.
Vice
She has to
President
find
get to
some,
the
like
presidency.
Hillary
And
Clinton,
two
she has to
have done
find
it,
some
and that is what
external
in 1836
thing to
and
blame.
George
She
H.W.
can't blame
Bush in
herself. You can't say,
1988.
I was a horrible candidate.
You know,
I was
the
faking
question
it,
is
and people saw
what
it.
the Republican
and,
Party looks like.
They don't learn
And
from it. They don't
clearly
learn
it's
from
a
falling.
multiracial party, to your point. It's working class, and maybe it's the future. I mean, it's Elon Musk, it is Joe Rogan and podcasts.
But
It
Trump
is,
is not
you know,
that
there's
kind
an
of
opportunity here on both parties
narcissist.
to
He is
realign
more like
and change.
overt,
There's going to be a lot of conversations that go on
grandiose type,
to
but
that end. Who is
he's
the
not
next
a-
standard bearer for president? Is it J.D. Vance?
he's not a
The
mean
one who
guy.
picks up the
He's not
torch
a
after a
bad person.
4-year legacy-defining term with the success that Kellyanne's describing? Is it J.D.
Just
Vance
sounds
that
like
picks
that
it
for
up?
people who are
There's going to
weak,
be
who doesn't
conversation
really
about
understand
grounding.
it.
I mean, Kamala Harris over the weekend, they were saying they were knocking 1,000
shouldn't have
doors a minute,
apologized
and I have
for
no
something
reason
you
to
haven't
doubt
done.
that. It
You
was an
shouldn't
extraordinary
apologize
ground game, but do
because
ground
people
games
feel
matter as much
offended
as
or
podcasts?
anything like that. You should
As
never
much
do
as
that.
real, authentic,
You should
viral
apologize
moments
if you
like President Trump
actually hurt
on the
someone.
garbage truck,
Actually
or,
hurt
you know,
someone.
President Trump at McDonald's. These
And,
viral moments that really capture
as far as
the
I can
essence
see,
of the
Trump
nation.
has actually
And
never
what does the
been
Republican
the
Party look
one
like going
who
forward? It's a broad
started
coalition.
a fight
It's
with
an exciting coalition, and I think
He
if
wants
President
everybody
Trump
to come
manifests that
along.
working man agenda, no tax on tips, no, you know, limit on credit card interest rate, that's a working man's economic agenda. And if he makes that happen in 4 years, this party may look like this for quite some time.
You know, I'm struck when you're talking about the authenticity part of this, because when I think about him with the French fries at McDonald's and standing up with blood on his face, fight, fight, fight. You can't fabricate. No, you know, consultant can create those moments, Trey. Those are organic and they are authentic. And I think that that is something that Kamala Harris fell really far short on in terms of the authenticity measure.
Yeah, if you had told me that a billionaire from New York would be able to connect with middle America, I would have questioned that. To my friend, the gentleman from Tennessee, autopsies are painful, especially when the patient's still alive. I wonder what the Democrat Party is going to go through in the next weeks and months, because this was a loss that I don't think anyone saw coming, not to this magnitude. So what does the autopsy look like if you're a Democrat? It's painful, but you have to have one. How did you lose, and how did you lose this soundly?
The easiest way to do it for them would be to simply say, if Joe Biden hadn't clung to the job, clung to the nomination, and hidden his condition with a lot of help, they could have had an open nominating process and gotten a more attractive nominee who would have been freer to walk away from Biden policies and would have had a better shot. I mean, I think that's the easiest, simplest solution. Which I'm not sure that's where they'll go, but that makes
I don't
sense.
think you can pass over an African-American female, which is a very loyal constituency for the Democratic Party. I don't see how they could have passed over.
But if he left the office and she'd run, she would have been put through a different process and would have had competition, and the whole thing would have been different. You know?
But I mean, but Harold, you have a Democratic Party that's pretty old. I mean, you have Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden.
Well, you look at Andy Beshear, you got Josh Shapiro, you
But
got
that's a different kind of Democrat, and that is not the progressive Democrat that wins in a primary. So is it going to be a change in your party?
Well, we nominated Bill Clinton and Barack Obama, who were not from that party. So I think we'll do that. Look, tonight, what happened this evening and what's happened over the last year has been described. There were those on this panel who didn't believe that this resurrection could have occurred. So if this can happen, things are possible in politics if you're willing to change and willing to have courage and determination. And whatever Democrats or anybody want to say about this guy who's been elected our president, he personifies that courage and determination and persistence. So I think, Trey, you were asking a serious question, and Britt gave a very serious answer. I think that's going to be part of the answer. And we've got to look long and hard about whether or not the way we campaign sometimes with identity politics, then at the end, is that the right way to do it? But before you get there, you got to get a purpose and a message. And we'll get there. We've got a long history of figuring these things out.
I'm still nervous about Ukraine.
We'll figure it out this time.
So the carnage speech got a lot of attention at the inauguration. Do we think that this speech,
I was going way back.
we're actually told that the teleprompters have been removed from the stage, so we could be in for a long haul here. We don't know. But what do you think?
Well, that's
he's
a shame.
coming, but there may not be.
I'm saying he goes off the teleprompter anyway, but he, the other night at the Al Smith dinner, he was upset that there were teleprompters, because he doesn't want to use them. So.
Right. So, Dana, what does this speech look like?
This one right now?
Yeah.
I think you, look, I don't know. He's one of the most unpredictable people too. So I think that's why we're all here and I'm wide awake and I've been awake for almost 24 hours now. And I am curious to see, I think, I wasn't just thinking about this speech. I'm thinking about the inauguration speech, which would be 8 years
Maybe I should get a little bit closer so you can actually see what I'm doing.
He has a wide range of the types of speeches that he can give. If you think even within a speech, there's range. If you think about the RNC convention, it started off with like, oh wow, yeah, and then after a while, like, wow, are you still talking? It was like so long, and then kind of got off script, and people thought, oh, he kind of lost opportunity. But he didn't. I think if you look at these people who would take off work, drive somewhere in the middle of the night to go and get in line to wait for hours, to then stay at a rally for hours, and part of the things he has done as well is created this camaraderie amongst people so that you could go to a place where you're not afraid to wear your red MAGA hat and you could say, I'm not the crazy one. I'm not the only one who thinks the way that I do. I can actually have friends, and that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be outreach to the other side. I believe in love thy neighbor. I love all of that. But he has created something special here, so I kind of want him to take a victory lap tonight. I don't think this is necessarily the moment for unity, especially when she won't even concede and give him the night to celebrate.
Kellyanne, you were looking at the popular vote. He's still up, and could finish up.
And part of it is because he did run up the totals in places I was looking at, even the rural counties in Pennsylvania. He was going to win them by significant double digits, but he won them that much more. I think running up the totals in Florida, which was a swing state not that long ago, over 1.1 million votes or so. Haley, right, your home state. And this is, look, I think that when the Democrats take a look at this candidacy, it's not going to be that she had too much time, not enough time. She's just a flawed candidate. She doesn't speak well, she doesn't work hard. I'm not being mean or partisan. I don't know why the country would have rewarded this candidate with the big job. When she couldn't make the case what she does as vice president that affects our lives in a positive way, she was given that opportunity. I personally like to thank the women of The View tonight for asking this question. We're having her on. Oprah, we see you, and so on and so forth. People who thought they were doing her a favor because they made her something she's not. It's the opposite for Trump. They make him something he's not. Take that one word, take that one line, take that cherry pick this, that, the other. You never get the essence. I go back, does everybody remember 5 years ago, so Laurel and Yanny, or what color dress? You hear Laurel, I hear Yanny. You see a blue dress, I see a yellow dress. We were all looking at the same thing. That's the way Donald Trump is in this country. There are people who look exactly the same person, and they see two different vistas. I think it's time that we try to see one. Look, I don't know who said it earlier. I'm a little worried about the reaction of the Democrats and the Kamala people here. I'm very worried. I think that there are a lot of unhinged people across the political spectrum, and we gave very little quarter to how many anti-Kamala voters are out there. I don't want to hear the words racism, sexism. It's eyesight and hearing. We were listening and watching her, and I'm very worried that we've not talked a lot about how violent people may be and angry because she lost. Right. I'm afraid of that.
Right. I mean, I can just imagine thinking about The View, and a week or so ago, they were saying, you know, what is wrong with someone who would vote for him?
Michelle Obama
and Joe Scarborough saying, you know, we weren't raised like this. Who raised these people? So I can only imagine what tomorrow is going to look like.
You know, I will say when we talk about The View, you know, what comes to mind is we mentioned the carnage speech that President Trump gave at his inauguration. And my mind automatically went to the unity speech that Biden gave, and he mentioned unity a half dozen times. But when you think about what we got over 4 years, there was the garbage comment that didn't come in isolation. There were all kinds of comments.
Really,
Neanderthal was one of the first words he used to describe those who opposed his COVID edicts. The Mark Cuban comment, he was an official surrogate of the Kamala campaign, and for, you know, as mean as some of President Donald Trump's tweets have been and people have problems with it, one thing I've challenged Democrats to find is one example of him disparaging the country, half of the country, and that's something he has not done. And so I expect you'll hear a unifying tone, and I expect you're going to see a very successful presidency, and one untethered maybe from some of the things that were holding him back. What comes to mind is an Oval Office meeting that we had where Dr. Fauci was urging him not to open the country. And I watched President Trump fight vociferously, saying people are losing their jobs. We must open the country. He wanted to do it sooner than he did. I think a Donald Trump who goes with his instincts is going to be a Trump that ultimately leads a very successful country in second term.
You know, Martha, Joe Biden
So why
mentioned
am I
unity
as
more in his
Norwegian so
inaugural
interested in
address
this?
than any president, I think, except one.
Because a
If
strong
he's serious
America
about that, he'll pardon Donald
is what
Trump. He'll
makes
also pardon his
Europe
son.
and the rest
And
of
then
the
he'll
world
put pressure on Georgia and New
secure,
York
more
to
secure.
end this lawfare. If there's any silver lining tonight, it is that lawfare actually helps the person that you are trying to go after. We need a justice system. The lady needs to wear a blindfold for a reason. We got to stop this prosecution of our political enemies.
I mean, literally, this
He
whole
will make will be the Attorney General.
Absolutely.
We need a really solid
Well,
Attorney
I'm
General.
gonna paint some more and put it on when he comes and do the speech.
Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends in this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. We made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again. And in addition to having won the battleground states of North Carolina, I love these places. Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. We are now winning in Michigan, Arizona, Nevada, and Alaska, which would result in us carrying at least 315 electoral votes. But it's much easier doing what the networks did or whoever called it, because there was no other path. There was no other path to victory. We also have won the popular vote. That was great. Thank you. Thank you very much. And winning the popular vote was very nice, I will tell you. It's a great feeling of love. We have a great feeling of love in this very large room with unbelievable people standing by my side. These people have been incredible. They've made the journey with me, and We're going to make you very happy. We're going to make you very proud of your vote. I hope that you're going to be looking back someday and say that was one of the truly important moments of my life when I voted for this group of people beyond the president, this group of great people. America has given us an unprecedented and powerful mandate. We have taken back control of the Senate. Wow, that's good. And the Senate races in Montana, Nevada, Texas, Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, were all won by the MAGA movement. They helped so much. And in those cases, every one of them, we worked with the senators. They were tough races, and I mean, the number of victories in the Senate was absolutely incredible. And we did tele-rallies. We did tele-rallies with each one of them, and sometimes we did 2 or 3 and it was amazing to look at all of those victories. Nobody expected that, nobody. So I just wanted to thank you very much for that. And you have some great senators and some great new senators. And it also looks like we'll be keeping control of the House of Representatives. And I want to thank Mike Johnson. I think he's doing a terrific job. Terrific job. I want to also thank my beautiful wife, Melania, First Lady. Who has the #1 best-selling book in the country. Can you believe that? Oh, no, she's done a great job, works very hard to help people. So I just want to thank her, but I want to thank my whole family, my amazing children, and they are amazing children. And we all think our children are. Everybody here thinks their children are amazing, but that's a good thing when you think they are. But Don, Eric, Ivanka, Tiffany, Barron, Laura, Jared, Kimberly, Michael, thank you all. What a help. What a great. My father-in-law, Victor, is tremendous, and we miss very much Melania's mother, Amalia. We miss Amalia, don't we? Yeah? She would be very happy right now, standing on this stage. She'd be so proud. She was a great woman, that one. Beautiful inside and out. She was a great woman. I want to be the first to congratulate our great, now I can say, Vice President-elect of the United States, J.D. Vance. And his absolutely remarkable and beautiful wife, Usha Vance. And he's a feisty guy, isn't he? You know, I've said, go into the enemy camp, and you know the enemy camp is certain networks, and a lot of people don't like this. Sir, do I have to do that? He just goes, okay. Which one? CNN, MSDNC? He'll say, all right, thank you very much. He actually looks like, he's like the only guy I've ever seen. He really looks forward to it, and then he just goes and absolutely obliterates them. Say a couple of words here.
Well, Mr. President, I appreciate you allowing me to join you on this incredible journey. I thank you for the trust that you placed in me. And I think that we just witnessed the greatest political comeback in the history of the United States of America. And under President Trump's leadership, we're never going to stop fighting for you, for your dreams, for the future of your children. And after the greatest political comeback in American history, we're going to lead the greatest economic comeback in American history under Donald Trump's leadership.
Thank you very much. He's turned out to be a good choice. I took a little heat at the beginning, but he was, I knew the brain was a good one, about as good as it gets. And we love the family, and we're going to have a great 4 years, and we're going to turn our country around, make it something very special. It lost that little thing called special. We have to make it so. We're going to make this so great. It's the greatest country, and potentially the greatest country in the world by far. And right now, we're going to just work very hard to get all of that back. We're going to make it the best it's ever been. We can do that. If we had to wait longer, I don't know. It was going bad, and it was going bad fast. We're going to have to seal up those borders, and we're going to have to let people come into our country. We want people to come back in, but we have to let them come back in, but they have to come in legally. They have to come in legally. Let me also express my tremendous appreciation for Susie and Chris, the job you did. Susie, come here. Come here, Susie. Chris, come here, Chris. Susie likes to stay sort of in the back, let me tell you. The Iceman, we call it the Iceman. Chris, come here, Chris. Susie likes to stay in the background. She's not in the background.
This was unexpected, but I just want to thank, obviously, President Trump for this journey. It was a great one, and he's a hell of a candidate, and he's going to be a hell of a great 47th president. And this team that we had, the best team, and of course, even my boss, Susie Wiles, the best. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Susie. Look at this. I've never seen her be shot before. Susie. They're great. Everybody up here is great. Everybody up here is very special. But the Trump, who did you say? Oh, let me tell you, we have a new star. A star is born, Elon. Now he is. Now he's an amazing guy. We were sitting together tonight. You know, he spent 2 weeks in Philadelphia and different parts of Pennsylvania campaigning. You know, he sent the rocket up 2 weeks ago, and I saw that rocket. I saw it coming down. I saw it. It was, when it left, it was beautiful, shiny white. When it came down, it didn't look so pretty. It was going 10,000 miles an hour, and it was burning like hell. I said, what happened to your paint job? He said, we've never made a paint that could withstand that kind of heat. And but I saw it come down and turn around. And it was, you know, it's like 22 stories tall, by the way. It looks a little smaller than that, but it's big. And it came down, and you saw that fire burning. And I'm saying, only Elon can do this. It must be an Elon. And I tell the story. I told it last night. I had a man on the phone. I had the screen muted, no sound. I was talking to a very important man, happens to be here. And a very important guy, one of the most important people in, I would say, the country, actually. But, you know, I was president, and now it looks like I was going to be maybe president again, so I figured I could ask him to hold. So I asked him to hold, and especially because you're going to be president again, they hold. So I took the phone down, and I'm looking at the screen. I'm seeing this crazy thing that's going around and coming down there. It looks like it's going to crash into the gantry. And I said, oh no. And I said, do me a favor, do you mind holding for a couple of minutes? I want to see this. I thought it was a space age movie or something. I put the phone down, bad part, I didn't pick it up for 45 minutes, and he was holding. But this spaceship came down, and I saw those engines firing, and it looked like it was over, it was going to smash, and then I saw the fire pour out from the left side, and I put it straight, and it came down so gently, and then it wrapped those arms around it, and it held it, and just like you hold your baby at night, your little baby. And it was a beautiful thing to see, and I called Elon. I said, Elon, was that you? He said, yes, it was. I said, who else can do that? Can Russia do it? No. Can China do it? No. Can the United States do it other than you? No. Nobody can do that. I said, that's why I love you, Elon. That's great. And you know, when we had the tragic Hurricane Helene, and it hit North Carolina, they were really devastated. The water, this was a big water, as big as we've ever seen, water hurricane. It built lakes out of nothing. Fields became lakes, and the danger was unbelievable. And the people from North Carolina came to me and they said, would it be possible, at all possible, for you to speak to Elon Musk? We need Starlink. I said, what's Starlink? It's a form of communication. So I called Elon, and I'll tell you what, he had, and it was very dangerous. People would die. They had no communication. All the wires were down. I called Elon Musk. I said, Elon, you have something called Starlink, is that right? Yes, I do. What the hell is it? He said, it's a communication system that's very good. I said, Elon, they need it really, really badly in North Carolina. Can you get it? He had that there so fast, it was incredible. So, and it was great. It saved a lot of lives. He saved a lot of lives. But he's a character, he's a special guy, he's a super genius. We have to protect our geniuses. We don't have that many of them. We have to protect our super geniuses. I want to thank some of the guys. You know, we have up here today the U.S. Open champion. He's fantastic golfer, slightly longer than me. It's a ball a little bit longer than me. Just a little bit. Bryson DeChambeau is up here someplace. What happened to Bryson? Where is he? Bryson! Oh, he was shot. He's hitting balls. Oh, he's on the way. He's hitting balls. Bryson. Oh, look at him. He got a great career going. Great U.S. Open, Bryson. That's a fantastic job. And we also have a man, Dana White, who has done some job. He's a tough guy. So Dana started UFC and came to me, do you mind if I use your, nobody wanted to give him a rinse because they said it's a rough sport, a little rough. And I helped him out a little bit, and I went and I said, this is the roughest sport I've ever seen, but I began to like it, and he loved it, and nobody's done a better job in sports. And you know, he's a very motivational kind of a guy, what he does. He gets these fighters, and they really go at it, and it's become one of the most successful sports enterprises anywhere at any time. It's doing so well. I'd like to ask Dana just to say a couple of words, because people love to hear from him.
Nobody deserves this more than him, and nobody deserves this more than his family does. This is what happens when the machine comes after you. What you've seen over the last several years, this is what it looks like. Couldn't stop him. He keeps going forward. He doesn't quit. He's the most resilient, hard-working man I've ever met in my life. His family are incredible people. This is karma, ladies and gentlemen. He deserves this. They deserve it as a family. I want to thank some people real quick. I want to thank the Nelt Boys, Aiden Ross, Theo Vaughn, Bustin' with the Boys, and last but not least, the mighty and powerful Joe Rogan. And thank you, America. Thank you. Have a good night.
That is a piece of work. No, he's really an amazing guy. But most of all, I want to thank the millions of hardworking Americans across the nation who have always been the heart and soul of this really great movement. We've been through so much together, and today you showed up in record numbers to deliver a victory like really, I probably like no other. This was something special, and we're gonna pay you back. We're gonna do the best job. We're gonna turn it around. It's got to be turned around. It's got to be turned around fast, and we're gonna turn it around. We're gonna do it in every way, with so many ways, but we're gonna do it in every way. This will forever be remembered as the day the American people regained control of their country. So I just want to say that on behalf of this great group of people, these are hard-working people, these are fantastic people, and we can add a few names like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And he's going to help make America healthy again. And now he's a great guy, and he really means it. He wants to do some things, and we're going to let him go to it. I just said, but Bobby, leave the oil to me. We have more liquid gold, oil and gas. We have more liquid gold than any country in the world, more than Saudi Arabia. We have more than Russia. Bobby, stay away from the liquid gold. Other than that, go have a good time, Bobby. We're going to be paying down debt. We're going to be reducing taxes. We can do things that nobody else can do. Nobody else is going to be able to do it. China doesn't have what we have. Nobody has what we have. But we have the greatest people also. Maybe that's the most important thing. This campaign has been so historic in so many ways. We've built the biggest, the broadest, the most unified coalition. They've never seen anything like it in all of American history. They've never seen it. Young and old, men and women, rural and urban. And we had them all helping us tonight, when you think. I mean, I was looking at it, I was watching it. They had some great analysis of the people that voted for us. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. They came from all corners, union, non-union, African American, Hispanic American, Asian American, Arab American, Muslim American. We had everybody, and it was beautiful. It was a historic realignment, uniting citizens of all backgrounds around a common core of common sense. You know, we're the party of common sense. We want to have borders. We want to have security. We want to have things be good, safe. We want great education. We want a strong and powerful military, and ideally we don't have to use it. You know, we had no wars. 4 years we had no wars, except we defeated ISIS. We defeated ISIS in record time. But we had no wars. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. But this is also a massive victory for democracy and for freedom. Together we're going to unlock America's glorious destiny, and we're going to achieve the most incredible future for our people. Yesterday, as I stood at my last stop on the campaign trail, I'll never be doing a rally again. Can you believe it? I think we've done 900 rallies approximately from them. Can you imagine? 901 something, a lot of rallies. And it was sad. Everybody was sad. Many people, I said, this is our last rally. But now we're going on to something that's far more important, because the rallies were used for us to be put in this position where we can really help our country. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make our country better than it ever has been. And I said that many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. And that reason was to save our country and to restore America to greatness. And now we are going to fulfill that mission together. We're going to fulfill that mission. The task before us will not be easy, but I will bring every ounce of energy, spirit, and fight that I have in my soul to the job that you've entrusted to me. This is a great job. There's no job like this. This is the most important job in the world. Just as I did in my first term, we had a great first term, a great first term. I will govern by a simple motto: promises made, promises kept. We're going to keep our promises. Nothing will stop me from keeping my word to you, the people. We will make America safe, strong, prosperous, powerful, and free again. And I'm asking every citizen all across our land to join me in this noble and righteous endeavor. That's what it is. It's time to put the divisions of the past 4 years behind us. It's time to unite. And we're going to try, we have to try, and it's going to happen. Success will bring us together. I've seen that. I saw that in the first term. When we became more and more successful, people started coming together. Success is going to bring us together, and we are going to start by all putting America first. We have to put our country first for at least a period of time. We have to fix it. Because together we can truly make America great again for all Americans. So I want to just tell you what a great honor this is. I want to thank you. I will not let you down. America's future will be bigger, better, bolder, richer, safer, and stronger than it has ever been before. God bless you, and God bless America. Thank you very much.
Donald J. Trump, the man who will be the 47th President of the United States, in West Palm Beach at the convention center there. He said he's going to make America great again for all Americans. Said God spared his life for a reason in those 2 assassination attempts. He said promises made, promises kept, and he has a big agenda ahead. He thanked a lot of people on that stage and said success will bring us together. Trying to bring the country together after what is a bruising, damaging, very vitriolic campaign that comes to an end with this massive win. He praised a lot of people, including Elon Musk, who he called a new star, up-and-comer, that guy. Have you met him? I think he's an up-and-comer.
He known about the rocket for a while.
He did. But he did the dismount, and now he goes on to be president-elect of the United States, once again.
It's an extraordinary story, an absolutely phenomenal political comeback for Donald J. Trump, who will be the 47th President of the United States when he is inaugurated on January the 20th. And he said that God spared him from those assassination attempts in order to lead the country. He said success will bring us together, and he said it was an honor. And he thanked everyone involved and thanked the American people for tonight's outcome.
We have no indication that Vice President Harris has made a phone call. We're trying to get confirmation that there has been any concession. We don't have any word that that has happened. We were told by her campaign that she's going to wait till tomorrow to do something and to respond to all of this. But no phone call, as we can tell right now. We're going to wrap up with our panel: Harold Ford Jr., Katie Pavlich, Mark Thiessen, Kellyanne Conway, Caleb McEnany, and Trick. It's almost. Just come on.
So. Whew. Yes. So, what do you think?
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah.
You think this is beautiful?
Yeah.
Uh,
the man, the baby.
she is. She hated Trump in 2016. Actually, there's a woman in America who's going to have this. And she hated Donald Trump in 2016, arguing like crazy. And now we're back to this, and it's kind of strange to think about. And she was voting for Kamala. I think it was yesterday, actually. He said, now we're going to have a woman president. I said, no, Trump is winning, check out. And she conceded earlier. I said, well, it didn't affect her. Well, the groceries is going to become cheaper. I said. Anyway, I love being right. You know, I was right about him the first time. I had a feeling he was going to lose the second time, and I had a feeling he was going to win this time. And I was right, and right. So I guess I'm God. Yeah. Okay, cheers. Have a good one. I'll put out a full tutorial of this later. So, see ya. So here you can see some of the textures and brushwork. Feel free to spew your hate, love, or tell me what you think in comment. And also about brushwork, and if you like me to do more of this, you can also tell me. If you want to support my channel, you can go to Patreon or sign up there for a tier. Or you can also, if you really want to be a sweetheart, buy me a coffee. There's a link in the description and on my channel. And I hope to see you in my next video, because they are now coming up rapidly. I have a lot coming out, so stay tuned and share it with your friends. Thumbs up, leave comment, important.